Alright, so we have had a ton of questions on this channel regarding scholarships. How do you apply for the right scholarships? How does the entire process look like? What is the difference between financial aid and scholarships? And is it actually possible for an international student to get a full ride or 100% scholarship to a US based college? Now, if any of these questions seem like ones that are in your mind, this video is the right one for you. So we are back with a brand new series and we're doing Road to Success, the 100% scholarship series version 2.0 2022. And in this series, we're going to talk about individual universities and how you can apply for scholarships and financial aid as an international student. We're going to cover universities in Canada and the US. So in this video, we're going to just jump into the general topic of scholarships. And I want to talk to you guys, no clickbait, just the reality of how scholarships work in the US. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it really keeps me motivated to just, keep making videos like this for you guys. So we're going to start off with two categories, scholarships and financial aid. Now, a lot of people think that they're kind of the same thing, but there are important differences between the two. Financial aid on one hand is dependent on your family's income and your financial status, whereas scholarship is more dependent on you, how you are as a student, how you perform academically. So one of the most common types of scholarships that is available in almost every college, and a lot of students kind of fail to recognize this, is something called a merit scholarship. Now, what merit scholarships kind of mean is if you are an academically good achieving student, like you stand in the top 3% of your class, or you have a greater than 95% in your 10th and 12th board, or you have a 9.5 or a 9.9, 10 CGPA in your undergrad. This means that you've excelled academically and you stand a good chance of getting this merit scholarship. It's basically a way of, colleges saying that, you're a good student, keep up the good work, and for all of your hard work that you put into getting those good scores. Now, the cool thing about merit-based scholarships is that you don't have to fill out any extra application. In almost every single college in the US and Canada, as soon as you submit your application, your college application, you are considered for this type of scholarship. Now, a good example of this is if you go into any college website, let's take Northeastern University, for example, and you go into the requirements section, it clearly states that all applicants who apply on time are considered for these scholarships and no additional applications are necessary. And this really kind of helps clear up and means exactly what I'm saying, that you don't need to submit any extra scholarship application or any extra essays to be considered for this merit-based scholarship. And the cool thing is you can also renew the scholarship every year. So if you are in a 4-year undergraduate degree, after you come in and get this merit-based scholarship, as long as you keep your grades up, you have a good score each year, the scholarship renews itself. So maybe you can expect something like $5,000 per year. So over the course of 4 years, that's a $20,000 scholarship right there. And that's just the merit-based. And you can check out the websites of all of the Ivy Leagues except Cornell, and they have merit-based scholarships. So this is something that you guys should look out for, and whichever colleges you're thinking of applying to, just search merit-based scholarship followed by that college name on Google, and you'll be able to see that website and look at all of the details and how that entire process is. The next type of scholarships that I want to talk about are college-specific scholarships. Now, I'm not going to go into super detail for these because I've made dedicated videos and I don't want to repeat that. I'll link the playlist up here. But basically, these are scholarships like the Tata Scholarship from Cornell University and the Indian Trust Fellowship at the Booth School of Business in Chicago. So there are many scholarships like this that kind of award students a full ride and cover all of their tuition. Some of them even cover living expenses. And the thing is, these are super, super competitive, even though they are 100% full ride and they give you everything you need to kind of carry out your education for your undergrad or your graduate degree. Only 1 or 2 students get this type of scholarship each year, which means that, they're very competitive. You need to have an outstanding application. And I'm not trying to scare you guys when I talk about these scholarships and tell you about the requirements. But the point to understand is not everybody can get these. So this brings me to the next topic that I want to talk about, which is financial aid. And this is something that a lot of you guys can actually get if you pay attention to certain parts of your application. So financial aid basically depends on your family income and your financial status. It kind of takes into account all of the factors like how many people are in your family, how many people earn in your family, and based on that, the university will decide if they want to give you some financial aid. But the important thing to consider is not all colleges award financial aid to international students. In 2016-17, out of over 1,200 schools, only 420 actually provided financial aid to international students, which just goes to show how competitive this financial aid situation actually is. Now, before we go into how to apply for this financial aid and what the right approach is, let's look at some terms that are important for you to understand. Need-based aid is financial aid that is awarded to students that demonstrate financial need and meet the other eligibility criteria. Now, this basically means that if your family income is less than a certain amount, the college will give you financial aid to cover your tuition fee. Now, a good example of this is Harvard University, which clearly states that if your family income is less than $60,000 per year, they will cover your entire tuition fee. Now, another example of the need-based financial aid is Columbia University, and on their website, they clearly mention that Columbia will meet 100% of a family's demonstrated need based on the information provided in the financial aid application. It also states that international applicants must indicate their plan to apply for financial aid when submitting their admission application. If admitted without requesting financial aid, international students may not change their status to apply for aid, even if their financial circumstances change. International financial aid cannot be awarded in subsequent years if not awarded at the time of admission. Now, out of all of this information, the most important thing to note here is that if, while filling out your application, you forget to fill out the financial aid section or forget to select that you need financial aid, it can in no circumstance be changed later onwards. You cannot request for more financial aid or make an appeal or say that, well, now I need the aid and I forgot to mention this in my college application. It's just a straight no. So how do you do things the right way? This whole financial aid application is known as the CSS Profile, and this is a separate application that international students will need to fill out. Now, the main idea here is the CSS Profile talks more about your family's financial status, how much did your parents earn in the last few years, what your household income is, what kind of property does your family own, how many people are earning in the family, how many people go to college, and it's basically just based on this financial background of you and your family. And it's solely used to determine if you'll be eligible to receive additional financial aid when you get admitted into a college. So can you actually get 100% financial aid? Now, this is something that the financial committee of each college decides. There isn't a benchmark financial aid that you'll receive after you fill out and submit your CSS application that you get for every college altogether. That's not how it works. So basically, first, colleges will review your profile, you get admitted into some of them, and once you get admitted into some of them, those colleges then look at your CSS profile to determine what sort of aid you get. Now, this aid may be different for each college depending on their financial committee. So I can't tell you how much you're gonna get. You can't decide. It's just based on that individual college. Now, I've got some pretty ironic news. Even though the CSS profile is used to determine how much financial aid you'll get, it does cost money to submit the CSS profile. It's $25. And I think it's a subsequent $19 for any additional college. Now, at this point, I guess it's pretty clear that every student's situation is different and you can't just watch any random video on YouTube that says 100% scholarship and decide that that same situation will apply to you and you'll get that scholarship, right? Because your list of colleges need to be specific to your needs, your degree, your family background, and your financial situation. Now, if you feel stuck in this entire process and you need a custom college list which is specific to you, because this whole process can be pretty overwhelming, you can check out the college list template at incognitoblueprints.com, where a dedicated team of experts that review students' profile come up with a list of colleges that are suitable for your background that you can apply to. So coming back to the terminology, let's talk about need-blind and need-aware universities. And guess what, guys? So this isn't a financial aid at all. It's just kind of a policy that universities have. And it's good to know because this will really factor into which universities make it into your college list and which ones don't. Now, as the name indicates, the need blind universities are those universities that don't consider your financial situation when deciding whether they should give you an offer letter or not. Whereas need aware universities consider your financial situation, and depending on what your family's income is and whether they think you can afford a college or not, they may not give you an acceptance offer. Now, I know this sounds kind of biased and not fair, so I'm just gonna leave you guys with this. Now, do you guys think, and leave your thoughts in the comments below, what do you think is better? Submitting your CSS profile to just all of the colleges, even the need aware ones, or just not submitting your CSS profile to the need aware colleges and getting that offer letter first, and then maybe exploring other sources, like maybe an education loan, which isn't the best route, but it might be worth it if you get into a really good college. And for my graduate subscribers out there, I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. Now, even though there isn't scholarships and financial aids just straight out for grad students, which includes both masters and PhDs, this is because you guys have so many other resources that undergrads don't have. Now, positions like teaching assistantships, research assistantships, and just like lab positions that are paid are available to all graduate students, almost all, and you can expect to earn a pretty good amount either to cover up your living expenses or a good portion of your tuition fee. Now, in most cases in the US, all PhDs are fully funded, so that is a plus point too. You'll likely work with a professor on a thesis-based project for a couple of years, and that position you earn a stipend. So anywhere between like $25,000 to $35,000 per year is a good amount that you can envision yourself earning if you're in these graduate level positions. Alright guys, so that's all that I had for this video, and this is a brand new start to the series, and after this each video will cover each individual university and what scholarships look like for that university. So leave some suggestions in the comments below. Which universities do you want to see me cover in this entire series? And one last thing for everyone who's watching, if this video gets 500 likes, I'm gonna drop a video that talks about how you can earn $3,000 per month. So not clickbait, you can actually do this as an international student studying in the US. So get this video to 500 likes, share it with your family, friends, neighbors, make people watch it, make it go viral on those WhatsApp messages, do whatever you want, do your thing. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.